Everything you want is on the other side of belief. The moment you start acting like life is working for you, it actually does think about that for a second. What if the only thing standing between you and success, happiness or confidence, isn't luck, talent, or circumstances, but simply the way you choose to think? Most people wait for proof before they believe things will work out. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or a sign that they're on the right path. But here's the truth: life starts changing the moment you decide to act as if everything is already working in your favor, not because it has yet, but because your belief makes it happen. Imagine waking up every day with the mindset that no matter what happens, you will find a way. Imagine handling challenges with confidence, seeing obstacles as opportunities, and attracting success just by shifting how you think. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to develop this mindset and use it to create unstoppable momentum in your life. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I show you how to act as if everything always works out for you, and watch how your world starts to shift. Let's dive in. Number one, change your thoughts. Change your life. Your mind is a magnet. If you think of blessings, you attract blessings. If you think of problems, you attract problems. The way you think shapes your reality, every action. You take every emotion you feel and every result you see in your life all begin in your mind. But here's the problem. Most people don't realize just how much control they have over their thoughts. They wake up every morning and let their mind wander wherever it wants, often slipping into negative patterns without even noticing. They focus on what's missing, what's wrong, or what could go wrong, and then wonder why they feel stuck. But what if I told you that the first step to changing your life is simply changing what you focus on? Your thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you plan in your mind will eventually grow into your reality. If you constantly think about stress, failure, and problems, you will naturally experience more of them. But if you choose to plant thoughts of confidence, success, and possibilities, you'll begin to see those things appear in your life. This isn't just a nice idea, it's science. The brain operates on a principle called confirmation bias, which means that whatever you constantly think about, your brain will start looking for proof to support it. If you tell yourself, "I always struggle," your brain will highlight every past failure and make sure you notice every obstacle. But if you start saying things always work out for me, your brain will begin to find evidence of that too. Most people operate on autopilot, running the same mental patterns every day. They don't question their thoughts, and as a result, they allow negative ideas to dictate their emotions and decisions. The key to transformation is awareness, paying attention to what's going on in your mind. Take a moment and ask yourself, what kinds of thoughts have been dominating your mind lately? Are they filled with fear, doubt, and frustration, or are they focused on possibilities, solutions, and growth? If you find yourself constantly thinking negatively, don't judge yourself. Just recognize that you now have the power to shift it. You are not stuck with your current mindset. Just like a muscle, your brain can be trained. And the good news is, it responds quickly to change. One of the easiest ways to rewire your thinking is to start asking better questions. Instead of waking up and thinking, "What if something goes wrong today?" Shift it to, "What can I do today to make progress?" Instead of thinking, "Why does this always happen to me?" Try asking, "What can I learn from this?" questions. Direct your mind. And when you start asking empowering questions, your brain will start giving you empowering answers. Another powerful technique is affirmations, repeating positive VE statements about yourself and your future. This might feel strange at first, but studies show that repeating positive beliefs daily actually changes brain pathways over time. Start with something simple. "I am capable of handling anything that comes my way." Or, "I attract solutions and opportunities every day." Say it, write it down. And most importantly, act like it's already true. Visualization is another way to reshape your mindset. Olympic athletes, top entrepreneurs, and high performers across all industries use mental rehearsal to prepare for success. When you take a few minutes each day to visualize yourself succeeding, handling challenges with confidence, and achieving your goals, your brain starts treating those images as reality. It becomes easier to take action because your mind has already seen the success. This is why people who expect good things tend to experience them, because they train their brain to look for opportunities instead of problems. The shift doesn't happen overnight, but the moment you become aware of your thoughts and decide to take control of them, you've already won half the battle. The rest is about consistency, choosing every day to focus on solutions, instead of problems, on growth, instead of fear. When you master your thoughts, you master your life. So here's a challenge. GE for the next 24 hours, pay attention to your thoughts every time you catch yourself thinking something negative. Pause and ask, is this helping me? If the answer is no, replace it with something better with practice. This small habit can completely change your life. Because the truth is, everything you want starts in your mind. And the moment you shift your thoughts, you shift your world. Number 2, act like the person you want to become. Most people wait for confidence. Before they take action, they wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or some external sign that they are ready. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. If you want to change your life, you have to start acting like the person you want to become. Before you feel ready, the people who succeed in life don't wait for permission or proof. They step into their future self. Now, even before they have the results to show for it, they act as if they are already capable, already successful, already the kind of person who achieves their goals. And guess what happens? Life starts to align with that belief. Think about someone you admire. Maybe it's a successful entrepreneur, an athlete, or just someone who carries themselves with unshakable confidence. Do you think they started out that way of seed? Ours not. They weren't born with confidence. They built it step by step. They showed up before they had everything figured out. They made mistakes and they kept going anyway. They didn't wait to feel like an expert before they started acting like one. This is what separates people who grow and succeed from those who stay stuck. Successful people act first, and confidence follows your brain, is constantly watching your actions, and it forms beliefs based on what you do. If you act unsure, hesitant, and fearful, your brain starts to believe you're not capable. But if you act with certainty, make bold moves, and step into the version of yourself that you want to become, your brain catches up and starts to reinforce that belief. This is called self-perception theory. When you behave in a certain way, your brain starts believing that's who you are. That's why acting as if works. When you start moving through life as the best version of yourself, everything shifts: your energy, your decisions, and even the way people respond to you. But what does acting as if actually look like? It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about aligning your actions, body language, and habits with the person you are becoming. Let's say you want to be a confident public speaker instead of waiting to feel confident. NT, start acting like someone who already is. Stand tall, speak with clarity, and put yourself in situations where you can practice. Want to be successful in business? Start thinking, talking, and making decisions like a successful entrepreneur would. Want to be more disciplined? Start making disciplined choices now. Even in small ways, you don't wait to be fit. Before you go to the gym, you go to the gym to become fit. The same applies to every area of life. Your body language plays a huge role in how you feel and how others perceive you. Studies show that standing up straight, making eye contact, and carrying yourself with confidence actually makes you feel more confident when you change your posture. You change your psychology. Try this the next time you walk into a room. Lift your head, straighten your shoulders, and move as if you belong there. Even if you feel nervous inside, your body will send signals to your brain that say, I've got this, and soon that feeling becomes real. Another key part of acting as if is your self-talk. What are you saying to yourself every day? Are you reinforcing doubts, or are you speaking like the person you want to be? Imagine a person who is already where you want to be. What would they say to themselves? Would they say, I hope I can do this, or would they say, I know I will figure? Read this out. The words you use matter. Instead of saying, I'll try, say, I will. Instead of saying, I'm not sure, say, I'll find a way. Your brain listens to the words you speak. So make sure they align with success, taking action. Before you feel ready is scary, but that's exactly why it works. It pushes you out of your comfort zone and forces you to grow into the version of yourself that you want to be. Think of every decision as a chance to step into your future self. Before making a choice, ask yourself, what would the confident, successful version of me do in this situation? Would they hesitate, or would they take action? Would they play small, or would they step up? When you start making decisions from that mindset, you accelerate your growth. The key to this process is consistency. Acting as if it isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. At first, it might feel unnatural. You might feel like an imposter. But keep going. With each small step, you are rewiring your brain and building the identity of the person you are becoming over time. It stops feeling like an act, and it becomes who you are. So here's your challenge for the Next 24 hours, act like the most confident, successful version of yourself. Walk, talk, and think like the person you want to become. Make decisions as if you already have what you want. And watch how the world starts to shift in your favor. Because when you act as if everything always works out for you, eventually it does. Number 3, be positive but stay real. Positivity is powerful, but only when it's real. Too often people misunderstand what it truly means to have a positive mindset. They assume it's about ignoring problems, pretending everything is fine, and forcing a smile when they're struggling inside. But that's not positivity. That's denial. Real positivity isn't about avoiding reality. It's about facing it with the belief that no matter what happens, you will find a way forward. It's about choosing to see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Life is unpredictable. Some days everything flows effortlessly, while other days nothing seems to go your way. And in those tough moments, blind positivity won't help. Telling yourself everything is perfect when it clearly isn't will only create frustration and self-doubt. Instead, true optimism means acknowledging what's difficult while refusing to be defeated by it. It's the difference between saying this is happening to me and this is happening for me. That shift in perspective changes everything. Think about the strongest people. You know, the ones who always seem to handle challenges with grace. They're not the ones who pretend life is easy. They're the ones who refuse to let difficulties break them. They don't ignore problems, but they also don't dwell on them. Instead, they focus on solutions, growth, and possibilities. That's what real positivity looks like. It's not fake happiness. It's resilience. It's the mindset that says, I may not like this situation, but I can handle it. I can learn from it. I can grow through it. So how do you develop this kind of mindset? The first step is being honest with yourself. If something is hard, admit it. If you feel frustrated, acknowledge it. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them go away. It only makes them stronger. But once you face reality, shift your focus from the problem to the solution. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what can I do about this? That one simple change can transform your entire outlook on life. Another way to stay positive without being unrealistic is to reframe your struggles. Every challenge carries a lesson, but you won't see it unless you look for it. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted. Does that mean you're a failure? Or does it mean something better is coming? Maybe you faced a setback in your business. Does that mean you should give up? Or does it mean you need to adjust your approach? The way you define your experiences determine how they shape you. You can either see difficulties as reasons to stop, or you can see them as stepping stones to something greater. It's also important to control. What you focus on your mind is like a camera lens. It magnifies whatever you point it at. If you constantly focus on what's going wrong, you will find more things to worry about. But if you train your mind to focus on progress, gratitude, and opportunities, you will start to see more of them. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing not to let them control you. For example, if you're having a stressful day, take a moment to find one thing that's going right. Maybe a friend checked in on you. Maybe you completed a task you had been avoiding. Maybe you simply made it through another day. No matter how small, acknowledging progress shifts your energy from frustration to possibility. Another crucial aspect of real positivity is taking action. Positive thinking without action is just wishful thinking. It's not enough to hope for things to get better. You have to make them better. If something in your life isn't working, don't just sit there saying, I hope this changes. Take steps to change it. Whether it's improving your skills, setting new goals, or simply adjusting your mindset, action is what turns optimism into results. One of the most effective ways to stay optimistic is to surround yourself with people who uplift you. Negativity is contagious, but so is positivity. If you spend time around people who constantly complain, doubt, and focus on the worst, it will be hard to stay hopeful. But if you surround yourself with people who encourage you, support you, and challenge you to be better, their energy will lift you up. This doesn't mean avoiding people who are struggling. It means choosing to be around those who inspire solutions rather than spread negativity. At the end of the day, real positivity is about balance. It's about facing reality while believing in your ability to shape a better future. It's about acknowledging pain while choosing to keep moving forward It's about understanding that every challenge is an opportunity to grow. So the next time you face something difficult, don't ignore it. Accept it, learn from it, and then shift your focus to what you can do next. That's how you stay positive in a way that actually works. Here's a challenge for you. Find one situation in your life right now that feels like a struggle instead of seeing it as a problem. Reframe it as an opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to grow? When you start looking at life this way, you'll realize that everything, even the hard stuff, is working in your favor. Because real positivity isn't about tending. Life is perfect. It's about knowing you have the power to handle whatever comes your way. Number 4, ask questions that move you forward. Your mind is like a search engine. It answers the questions you ask it every day, whether you realize it or not. You are constantly asking yourself questions. The problem is that most people ask themselves the wrong ones. Instead of asking questions that push them forward, they ask questions that keep them stuck. Why do bad things always happen to me? Why can't I ever catch a break? What if I fail? These kinds of questions do nothing but reinforce fear, self-doubt, and negativity. Your brain is wired to look for answers. So when you ask a negative question, it will find evidence to support it if you keep asking. Why you can't succeed, your mind will remind you of every mistake you've ever made, every time you failed, and every reason you should give up. But what if you change the questions? What if instead of focusing on what's wrong, you started asking yourself, how can I make this work? What's the lesson in this? What's one thing I can do right now to move forward? The questions you ask yourself shape your entire mindset. Think of your brain like a GPS system. If you enter the wrong destination, it will guide you in the wrong direction. But if you input the right coordinates, it will lead you exactly where you want to go. Your thoughts work the same way negative questions take you toward frustration, fear, and inaction, while empowering questions lead you towards solutions, confidence, and action. So if you want to change your life, you need to start by changing the questions you ask yourself every day. One of the most important questions you can ask yourself is, what can I do right now? Many people waste energy worrying about things they can't control. Obsess over the past, stress about the future. Feel powerless in the present, but no matter what situation you're in, there is always something you can do right now to improve it, even if it's a small step. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what's within my control? This simple shift in perspective takes you from feeling like a victim to feeling empowered. Another powerful question is, what's the lesson in this? Life is full of challenges, and sometimes things don't go as planned. You will face setbacks, disappointments, and failures. But successful people don't let those moments define them. They use them as stepping stones. Every challenge carries a lesson, but you won't see it unless you look for it if you keep asking, why do I always fail? Your brain will find ways to confirm that belief. But if you ask, what is this teaching me? Your mind will start focusing on growth. Maybe a failed project is teaching you to be more patient. Maybe a rejection is redirecting you towards something better. Maybe a mistake is showing you what needs to improve. When you train yourself to find lessons in every challenge, nothing in life is wasted. A great way to improve your mindset is to start your day by asking, how can I make today great? Instead of waking up and immediately thinking about stress problems or responsibilities. Take a moment to set the tone for the day. When you ask a positive question, first thing in the morning, your brain starts searching for answers that support that mindset. You'll naturally start looking for ways to be productive, kind. And focus, this small habit can completely transform the way you approach life. It's also important to ask questions that focus on progress rather than perfection. Many people get stuck because they feel overwhelmed by big goals they ask themselves. How will I ever accomplish this? And immediately feel discouraged. But a better question is, what's one small step I can take today? No matter how big your dream is, it will always be achieved one step at a time instead of focusing on entire journey. Just focus on the next move. If you want to start a business, one thing you can do today if you want to get healthier, what's one small habit you can change right now? Progress is built through small, consistent steps, and the right questions will help you take them. Another powerful question to ask is, who can? I learn from no one succeeds alone. The fastest way to grow is to learn from people who have already done what you want to do instead of struggling alone. Ask yourself, who can mentor you, inspire you, or guide you? Books, podcasts, online courses, and mentors are all sources of wisdom. When you start asking who has already figured this out, you save yourself years of trial and error. Finally, one of the most life-changing questions you can ask yourself is, what am I great for? No matter how tough life gets, there is always something to be thankful for. When you focus on what's missing, you feel empty. But when you focus on what you have, you feel abundant gratitude. Shifts your perspective and keeps you in a mindset of possibility. Every night before bed, take a moment to ask yourself, what went well today, even on the hardest days? There is always something good if you choose to see it at the end of the day. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts, and your thoughts are shaped by the questions you ask. If you want better results, start asking better questions instead of focusing on problems. Focus on solutions instead of dwelling on mistakes. Focus on lessons instead of waiting for life to change. Ask yourself what you can do to change it. Here's a challenge for the next 24 hours. Pay attention to the questions you ask yourself every time you catch yourself asking a negative question. Stop and replace it with an empowering one. This small shift can completely change your outlook and your life. Because when you start asking better questions, you start creating better results. Number 5, turn challenges into your strength. Life is full of challenges, and no one is immune to setbacks. At some point, you will face rejection, failure, and unexpected obstacles. But here's the truth. Your challenges are not there to break you. They are there to build you. The way you respond to adversity determines whether you stay stuck or rise stronger. Every successful person face difficulties. But the difference between those who grow and those who give up is perspective. You can either see challenges as barriers, or you can see them as stepping stones. The moment you start viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth, everything changes. Think about a time you faced a difficult situation. Maybe you lost a job, failed at something important, or felt like nothing was going your way. In the moment, it might have felt like the end of the world. But looking back, didn't that challenge shape you in some way? Didn't it force you to grow, learn, or make a change that ultimately made you stronger? The truth is, growth doesn't happen in comfort. You don't build muscle without resistance, and you don't build strength without struggle. Challenges push you beyond what you thought you were capable of, and that's how you evolve. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that challenges are signs to stop. When something gets hard, they assume it's not meant to be. But the reality is, challenges are not stop signs, they are tests to see how badly you want something. When you shift your mindset to see difficulties as part of the process rather than obstacles, in the way you become unstoppable. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, how can this make me stronger? That small shift in thinking turns every setback into a setup for a comeback. A great example of this mindset is seen in the most successful people in the world. Think about someone like Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, or Steve Jobs. None of them had an easy path. They all faced rejection, failure, and criticism. But instead of letting those challenges define them, they used them as fuel. When Elon Musk's rockets kept failing, he didn't stop. He learned from his mistakes and kept going. When Oprah was told she wasn't good enough for television, she didn't let that define her. She proved them wrong. The common thread among all successful people is that they don't see failure as the end. They see it as feedback. How do you develop this mindset in your own life? The first step is to reframe the way you see challenges. Instead of seeing them as proof that you're not good enough, start seeing them as opportunities to grow. Every challenge comes with a lesson, but you won't see it unless you look for it. The next time you face an obstacle, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Maybe it's teaching you patience, resilience, or a new way to approach your goal instead of feeling defeated. Get curious about what you can learn. The second step is to take responsibility for how you respond. You may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you react. Victim and ality keeps you stuck. But taking ownership of your challenges empowers you. Instead of saying, this isn't fair, say, this is my moment, To rise every difficult situation is a chance to prove to yourself, you are capable of handling anything. Another powerful strategy is to use past challenges as proof of your strength. Think back to a time when you faced something tough and overcame it. Maybe you thought you wouldn't get through it, but you did. That experience as proof that you are stronger than you think. Every challenge you overcome adds to your confidence and resilience. The more you push through difficulties, the more unshakable you become. It's also important to stay solution-focused. People who struggle the most with challenges are often the ones who dwell on the problem instead of searching for a way forward. Instead of asking, why me, ask, what's my next step? Action is the antidote to fear. Even if you don't have all the answers, taking one small step forward will build momentum. When you start focusing on solutions instead of problems, you take back control of your life. One of the most important lessons in turning challenges into strength is learning to trust the process. Sometimes things don't go the way we planned because something better is coming. Failure doesn't mean you're not capable. It just means you're being redirected when you face difficulties. Remind yourself that life is always working for you, even when it doesn't feel like it. What feels like a setback today might be setting. You up for something greater tomorrow. Here's a challenge for you. Think of a struggle you are currently facing instead of seeing it as a problem. Try to find the opportunity in it. Ask yourself, how can I grow from this? What strength is this building in me? When you start viewing challenges as opportunities, nothing in life will ever feel impossible again. At the end of the day, challenges don't define you. How you respond to them does. You can either let difficulties break you, or you can let them shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. So the next time life throws a challenge your way, don't back down. Face it head on. Find the lesson and use it to fuel your growth. Because every struggle is a stepping stone toward the life you're meant to build. Number 6, use gratitude to stay strong. Gratitude is one of the most powerful mindsets you can cultivate. Yet it is often overlooked. Most people associate gratitude with being thankful for good things in life. But its true power goes beyond just feeling happy when things are going well. Gratitude is a tool, a mindset that can build resilience, shift your perspective, and help you stay strong even during the hardest times when life gets difficult. It's easy to focus on what's going wrong. Challenges, disappointments, and failures can consume your thoughts, making it seem like nothing is working in your favor. But the moment you choose to focus on what you do have rather than what you lack, your entire reality changes. It's important to understand that gratitude is not about ignoring problems or pretending that struggles don't exist. It's about choosing to focus on what's still good. Even in the middle of difficulties, life will always have ups and downs. But gratitude helps you stay grounded and emotionally strong instead of getting stuck in a mindset of scarcity, thinking about what's missing, what's lost, or what's unfair. You train your mind to see what's still available, what's possible, and what's working in your favor. When you practice gratitude consistently, you build the ability to find the silver lining in any situation, no matter how challenging it seems. Science backs this up. Studies have shown that people who actively practice gratitude have lower stress levels, stronger immune systems, and higher levels of happiness. Why? Because gratitude forces your brain to focus on positive aspects of life, reducing the mental space for anxiety, fear, and negativity. When you feel grateful, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the same chemicals responsible for feelings of joy and well-being. That means gratitude isn't just a mental PRA. It physically changes your brain, rewiring it to be more positive and resilient. So how can you start using gratitude as a tool for strength? The first step is to train yourself to look for the good, even in tough situations every day. Take a moment to ask yourself, what is one thing I can be grateful for right now? It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something as simple as having food, to eat, a supportive friend, or even just the fact that you're still breathing. And have another chance to make life better. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to shift your mindset from stress to gratitude. Another powerful way to strengthen gratitude is to start a gratitude journal every morning or night. Take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be major life-changing events. Sometimes the smallest things have the biggest impact. Maybe it's the sunlight coming through your window, a kind word from a stranger, or a challenge that is teaching you resilience. Writing it down makes it real and helps train your brain to focus on what's working instead of what's lacking. Gratitude also changes the way you see setbacks, and instead of thinking Why is this happening to me? You start asking, what is this teaching me? Or how can this help me grow every fail? Every difficult situation carries a lesson that can make you stronger. When you develop the habit of gratitude, you begin to see obstacles as opportunities rather than barriers. Instead of feeling defeated, you recognize that every challenge is shaping you into a better version of yourself. Another key aspect of gratitude is expressing it to others. When was the last time you told someone you appreciate them? When you take the time to thank people, whether it's a family member, a mentor, or a friend, it strengthens your relationships and creates a ripple effect of positivity. Gratitude makes you more aware of the good people in your life. And when you acknowledge them, it deepens your connections. Expressing gratitude also shifts your focus away from complaining and toward appreciation, making you a more positive. An uplifting person to be around. A common excuse people have for not practicing gratitude is, I don't have anything to be grateful for right now. But that's not true. If you woke up this morning, if you have access to clean water, if you have a roof over your head, these are things to be grateful for. Millions of people around the world don't have even the basics that you might take for granted. Gratitude is not about having everything you want. It's about recognizing the value of what you already have the moment. You stop waiting for something big to be grateful for and start appreciating what's already in front of you. Your perspective on life will shift dramatically. One of the best ways to make gratitude a habit is to start and end your day with it. Before you get out of bed in the morning, take a deep breath and think of one thing you're thankful for. It could be as simple as waking up to a new day at night. Reflect on something good that happened, no matter how small. When you bookend your day with gratitude, you train your mind to stay in a positive state. Here's a challenge for you for the next 7 days. Practice gratitude every single day. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Express appreciation to at least one person and look for something positive in every situation. If you do this consistently, you'll start to notice a shift, not just in how you think, but in how you feel. Gratitude has the power to make you stronger, happier, and more resilient. It reminds you that even when life gets tough, there is still so much to appreciate. Because at the end of the day, gratitude doesn't just make life better, it makes you better. Number 7, control your emotions, control your life. Your emotions influence every decision you make, every relationship you build, and every goal pursue. Yet most people let their emotions control them. Rather than learning to control their emotions, they react impulsively, allowing anger, fear, frustration, or doubt to dictate their choices. But here's the truth. The ability to manage your emotions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop when you learn to control your emotions. You take control of your life. Emotional intelligence isn't about ignoring your feelings or pretending everything is fine. When it's not, it's about understanding your emotions, processing them in a healthy way, and choosing how to respond instead of reacting impulsively. Think about a time when you reacted out of anger or frustration. Maybe you said something you later regretted or made a decision that hurt you in the long run. Now think about a time when you stayed calm and handled the situation with patience and clarity. Which one led to a better outcome? When you allow emotions to take over you, often make decisions you wouldn't make if you were thinking rationally. But when you learn to manage your emotions, you put yourself in a position of power. You become the master of your own mind rather than a prisoner of your feelings. One of the most important steps to emotional control is self-awareness. If you don't understand what you're feeling or why you're feeling it, you won't be able to manage it. Many people suppress their emotions or let them build up until they explode, which only leads to more stress and regret instead of ignoring or suppressing emotions. Take a moment to acknowledge them. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? And why recognizing your emotions without judgment gives you the power to choose how to deal with them. Another key aspect of emotional intelligence is learning to pause before reacting. When something triggers you, whether it's a rude comment, a stressful situation, or a setback, your first instinct might be to lash out, get defensive, or panic. But reacting immediately often leads to regret. Instead, practice the pause. When you feel an intense emotion, take a deep breath, count to 5, and ask yourself, what is the best response in this situation? This simple habit can save you from making impulsive decisions that you'll later regret. Your thoughts also play a major role. How you feel. Negative thoughts create negative emotions, while positive and empowering thoughts help you stay calm and focused. If you constantly think, I can't do this, or everything is going wrong, your emotions will reflect that, making you feel overwhelmed and discouraged. But if you shift your thoughts to this is tough, but I can handle it, or what's and I learned from this you notice that your emotions become more balanced. Your mind is incredibly powerful, and the way you talk to yourself shapes how you feel. Another important strategy for managing emotions is choosing your environment wisely. Have you ever noticed how spending time around negative complaining or toxic people affects your mood? The people you surround yourself with can either help you stay emotionally strong or drain your energy. If you want to improve emotional control, be mindful of who and what you allow into your space. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who stay calm under pressure, and who approach life with a mindset of growth and resilience. In addition to surrounding yourself with positive influences, it's also essential to have healthy outlets for your emotions. Suppressing feelings leads to stress and mental exhaustion, while expressing them in a destructive way, like yelling, blaming, or shutting down, only causes more problems. Instead, find constructive